Wendy, I'm good. How are you? I I had I had to buy a new refrigerator. So one day I realized on Wednesday, I think I realized my refrigerator wasn't cooling anymore, and so or was that Tuesday? Maybe it was Tuesday. So Tuesday I realized the refrigerator wasn't working, and then so Wednesday after work I went refrigerator shopping, and I brought a new fridge from like this little local place, and the guy he's gonna charge me like a lot for delivery. He's like, well, I gotta pay the guy to help me put the fridge in. I was like, bro, I can help you put the fridge in. Like, what are you talking about? If you got the truck, you bring the fridge to my house, I can help you get it in the house. So he charged me like half the price of delivery because I helped him take my old refrigerator away and put the new one in. And so last night I was setting that up, but I realized that there's something wrong with the refrigerator unit I got. So I called the guy back today and told him he has to come look at it again because when when the unit was brought here, the doors swung one way, and I for my kitchen the doors need to swing the other way. But that's easy to do. You just change the brackets to the other side. Pretty simple, right? So when I did that, the side that wasn't the side that doesn't swing anymore, there's a gap between the refrigerator and the seal, like the rubber seal that goes around the door on the freezer door and the refrigerator door. Like there's a gap in the seal. Like so, I'm thinking that the mounting hose that mounts the top bracket for the door unit, somebody measured those off by like a quarter of an inch, and so now I have a quarter of an inch gap in the fucking door because the drill holes are not set properly. And I tried two or three different ways to like see if it I could close the gap up, and I can't. So I called the guy. I was like, "Yo," and I told him exactly that. Yeah, I need my doors to swing the other way. I swapped the hinge sides, and now there's a gap. And the gap is so big, it makes the unit constantly run. And then I'm like, nah, you're not about to do that. Not with a brand new. This shit's supposed to be brand new, bro. Like, if that's a factory defect, I get it. Fine. Bring me another unit then. But yeah, that didn't go smoothly. I was like, oh, I'll just, purchase a fridge, get it delivered, pop, 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 set it up, good to go. Nope, nope, that's not going smoothly at all. Can't even have my refrigerator door open like I want it to. And I know it's not hard to do. So when I'm looking at it and the gap is there, I'm like, am I doing something wrong? Like I looked at it again, I took some parts off, put it back. I'm like, why is there this massive ass gap? And so the only thing I can figure is the mounting, the holes for the mounts are just not aligned properly. So I told the guy to come look at it. You look at it for yourself. Know that I'm not trying to shit you or have a long drawn out thing about this, bro. Like you can see for yourself, it's not right. So either give me a different unit or give me my fucking money back. But it's always something, Wendy. It's always something. Ooh, now holidays. Yep, the door is not properly aligned. That's all it is, and it's not a big deal. But I can't fix that. Like, so once again, he's gonna have to give me a different thing, which is crazy to have to take the whole. Now I gotta unpack all of my food and do this shit all over again. Son of a bitch. Now that's really hot. I should have just went to fucking Lowe's or Home Depot or somewhere probably. Anyway, oh well. I was trying to save a couple dollars because it wasn't like I was planning to buy a new refrigerator. I can see if I was saving up and like, oh, I want a new fridge. No, I didn't. That was an unexpected bill. It just popped up out of nowhere. So I'm like, I don't want to spend $1,500 on a refrigerator, so I got one for like $800. And it's like, damn it, that shit's not even working. She's like, what the hell is this beeping sound? It was me. My bad. So so I put the doors on the other side last night and realized there was a gap there. And I actually left it because I was thinking that maybe the unit has been sitting in storage for a while, and you know how the doors are set up, that the seal on that side probably just needs some time to expand, and to fill in the gap. So I left it like that all overnight, all day while I'm at work. And I said I'll check when I get home. And when I got home, it was still just exactly the same. I was like, nope, now I got to take the doors off again and put it back on the original way, the way I don't want it to be, just so I can close the refrigerator all the way. Look at the gap. Like that's not you're not supposed to have a gap like that on the side of your fucking refrigerator. Yeah, and I was like, okay, maybe that seal will just expand a little bit, and it did not. Yeah, so whoever drilled the fucking pilot holes for that shit or whatever, um, you can damn near see in the freezer. That shit is way too big of a gap. Like I'm like, what the fuck is that? And I know I ain't doing nothing wrong. Like here's the mounting bracket. I mounted the bracket in the fucking hose. There's no other way. There's only one way to do this. You really can't get it wrong. So that's why I'm at first. I'm like, am I doing something wrong? Like, what am I missing something? And it's like, no, motherfucker. There's only one way you can possibly do this. There's only one way any of these pieces fit on this fucking unit. And me putting the pieces on there and still having a gap like that, that means these screws right here should be further back. But that would only solve the problem on the freezer. So I don't know what's going on with the bottom door because even the bottom door has that gap in it. Pretty substantial gap too. So I got so tired of dealing with that, I just said, fuck it. Yo, P. I said, man, I'm about to get me some lunch and go in the fucking studio. I wrote a new song too, guys. Song number 108. Song number 108. My refrigerator. I had to get a new refrigerator unit. I'm trying to get that squared away for the past couple of days. Mm. Got some turnips in here. Mm-hmm. Got some okra in here. Mm. Some big ass carrots. Some celery and onion. Man, this soup is so good. P, that shit just stopped working out of nowhere. So the first on Tuesday, I noticed it wasn't cooling. Like it was just the refrigerator too. The freezer was cold and everything was frozen, but the refrigerator wasn't cooling. So I cranked that motherfucker all the way up to high on Tuesday night. And Wednesday morning, that shit still went cold. Fuck. So Wednesday afternoon, I went and bought a new one. And then Thursday afternoon, I got it delivered. So that's why I've been MIA for a couple days. And then this afternoon, fucking around with the doors because the door isn't closing like it's supposed to. Yeah, the refrigerators aren't fucking cheap. Even the cheap ones aren't cheap.
And I got a cheap one. That's probably why I'm having issues. Because I only spent $800 and not fucking $8,000 on some glass door smart refrigerator with AI technology. It has water and ice in the door. Like, I don't think I need water and ice in the door. It's nice to have, but do I absolutely need that shit? I don't think so. Mm.
Trap House Entertainment. I can see the rules have changed. If you choose to engage with something truthful, use a lane. If you choose to propagate the bullshit, then you probably super famous. Situations super dangerous. Chris been wild with depression, battling level of aggression. More communication, then it's hard to get the message. When it is received, it's even harder to accept it. So most of them reject it like it's all copacetic. Now they acting overzealous and they all sell it. They sold to the highest bidder just to buy some liquor. We came up off them hard knocks. Now these suckers sweet as Skittles, break them down like peanut brittle. We was slinging hard rock. This ain't Malcolm in the middle, made it sizzle like some bacon on the griddle. Things have changed. The game the same. It's hard to feel my age. Nothing don't feel same. Everything feels changed. Things have changed. The game the same. It's hard to feel my age. Nothing don't feel same. Everything feels strange. No more payphone, VCRs on pages, MP3s and DVD plays. Dime bags, from the corner, gangsters kept you covered like a blanket, reminiscing. Got me thinking nostalgia, got me feeling ancient. Nothing don't hit the same, everything feels different. Music no light cane, so it seems hard to listen. Even though this is AI, still real when I kick it. Now they all live online, trying to maintain the image, reaching for the outer limits, about to crash this glass ceiling, dodging bad dealers with some sad villains, mad children, baby kids. That's some sad living, fast cars, fast women, fast money, fast killing. What's trending? TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, and every time I think about it, it's hard to believe that. Things have changed. The game just ain't the same. Trying to feel my age, but it don't feel same. Everything feels strange. Change. Things have changed. The game just ain't the same. I'm starting to feel my age, nothing don't feel safe. Everything feels strange.
What do you think about this one? Yo, Boozy, you just missed the lyrics, bro. Or did you see the lyrics just now? Ooh, beef stew and dumplings.
Trap House Entertainment. I can see the rules have changed. If you choose to engage with something truthful, use a lane. If you choose to propagate the bullshit, then you probably super famous. Situation super dangerous. Chris been wild with depression, battling steroid aggression. Poor communication, then it's hard to get the message. When it is received, it's even harder to accept it. So most of them reject it like it's all copacetic. Now they acting overzealous and they all sell it. They sold to the highest bidder just to buy some liquor. We came up off them hard knocks. Now these suckers sweet as Skittles, break them down like peanut brittle. We was slinging hard rock. This ain't Malcolm in the middle, man. It sizzle like some bacon on the griddle. Things have changed. The game just same. It's hard to feel my day, but I know feel safe. Everything feels strange. Things have changed. The game just same. It's hard to feel my day, but I know feel safe. Everything feels strange. No more payphone, VCRs on the page, MP3s and DVD plays. Dime bags from the corner, gangsters kept you covered like a blanket, reminiscing. Got me thinking nostalgia, got me feeling ancient. Nothing don't hit the same, everything feels different. Music numb like pain, so it seems hard to listen. Even though this is AI, still real when I kick it. Now they all live online trying to maintain an image, reaching for the outer limits, about to crash this glass ceiling, dodging bad dealers with some sad villains, man, children, babies, kids, that's some sad living, fast cars, fast women, fast money, fast killing. What's trending? TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, and every time I think about it, it's hard to believe that. Things have changed.
The game just ain't the same. Yo, the Chris Benoit. Yo. I said, situation super dangerous. Chris Benoit with depression, battling steroid aggression. That's super dangerous. That's a super dangerous situation right there, bro. If you know the story, that's a dangerous situation, and it didn't turn out too well. Yeah, most people won't get to Chris Benoit, and I tried to spell his name like that, but hey, Suno would not say that. Hey, it kept saying Benoit, Benedict. I'm like, damn, bro, Chris Benoit, motherfucker. But yeah, it was sad. That was a sad fuck, bro. Sad story. And that's when it's one of those examples when a person can have everything, a great career, famous, beautiful wife, kids, like, and not be happy or not be, mentally stable. That's a super dangerous situation. Yeah. Little early 2000s wrestling illusion in there. The bars go hard on that one though. Owen Hart, yeah. You say more sad than Owen. I cried for Owen. Yeah, Bret and Owen Hart.
Trap House Entertainment.
Man.
I can see the rules have changed. If you choose to engage with something truthful, use a lane. If you choose to propagate the bullshit, then you probably super famous. Situation super dangerous. Chris been wild with depression, battling steroid aggression. Poor communication, then it's hard to get the message. When it is received, it's even harder to accept it. So most of them reject it like it's all copacetic. Now they acting overzealous and they all sell it. They sold to the highest bidder just to buy some liquor. We came up off them hard knocks. Now these suckers sweet as Skittles, break them down like peanut brittle. We was slinging hard rock. This ain't Malcolm in the middle, man. It sizzle like some bacon on the griddle. Things have changed. The game just same. It's hard to feel my day, but I know feel safe. Everything feels strange. Things have changed. The game just same. It's hard to feel my day, but I know feel safe. Everything feels strange. No more payphone, VCRs on the pages, MP3s and DVD plays. Dime bags from the corner, gangsters kept you covered like a blanket, reminiscing. Got me thinking nostalgia, got me feeling ancient. Nothing don't hit the same, everything feels different. Music numb like a cane, so it seems hard to listen. Even though this is AI, still real when I kick it. Now they don't live online, trying to maintain an image. Reaching for the outer limits, about to crash this glass ceiling. Dodging bad dealers with some sad villains. Mad children, babies, kids, that's some sad living. Fast cars, fast women, fast money, fast killing. What's trending? TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat. And every time I think about it, it's hard to believe that. Things have changed. Things the same. I'm starting to feel my pain. Nothing don't feel safe. Everything feels strange. Change. Things have changed. Things the same. I'm starting to feel my age. Nothing don't feel safe. Everything feels strange.
So this is so these are the first two songs from the next album, which is entitled so the last album was Purpose Over Pleasure. This one is going to be Growth and Development. We already got two songs.
The world is getting crazier by the minute.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna check that out, bro. I got to.
Trap House Entertainment.
Who you got though? Who you going for?
Growth and development, yeah, it's time to flip mode, implement intelligence, because we got some big goals. All we starts in the dark, but the seed still grows, so we gon' kick it harder than a pair of steel toes. Growth and development, yeah, it's time to flip mode, implement intelligence, because we got some big goals. All we starts in the dark, but the seed still grows, so we gon' kick it harder than a pair of steel toes. Record labels, TV stations, about to be irrelevant. Tell a friend, television, mainstream embezzlement, cause someday, Jen Apple will be the new delegate, so now my only goal is some growth and development. Building up my inner peace, breaking down the elements. I'm a God body and my melanin is the evidence. They can try, but can't sever the fellowship. All I hear is jealousy, fabrication, make believe. Labels just a fairy tale, and they tell them blatantly, you should stay away from me if you move it too hastily. I ain't slow to pull the trigger, I just do it patiently, and plus I do it gracefully. Every time I wield a pen, you know that they will pretend just to try and make amends. I don't think they fully comprehend the consequence. I'ma hit and miss a home run cause I'm swinging for defense. Sometimes it's better to talk to them, offer a little guidance. The miseducation of the Negroes back in full effect. Let's help wake these people up. No one's gone. Hold your hand. It's time to grow from boys and men. Now it's time to focus in. Hope you got an open plan. Show the man. Smack them with an open hand. Gotta let them know we ain't playing. Super Saiyan, supersede your superstition. Segregate stupid snitches. Sliding on slippery slopes. Surely get you stitches inside the service. In the circle, gotta watch your jurisdiction. And they tell the truth is fiction. I don't need to sue the science. All I need is your compliance. As I build a new alliance. Most of you are new to violence. Use the island, you surrounded. Shark and fast the waters. Either swimming or you drowning. Life ain't never sweet. Ain't nobody tossing lifesavers. You ain't promised light labor. And nice neighbors fighting the dark side is Darth Vader with some lightsabers. But all prayer and no action will not save. Growth and development, yeah, it's time to flip mode, implement intelligence, because we got some big goals. All we starts in the dark, but the seed still grows, so we gon' kick it harder than a pair of steel toes. Growth and development, yeah, it's time to flip mode, implement intelligence, because we got some big goals. All we starts in the dark, but the seed still grows, so we gon' kick it harder than a pair of steel toes. Trap House Entertainment. What up? I can see the rules have changed. If you choose to engage with something truthful, use a lane.
Yeah, I forgot. Let's go back to jail. I don't know. Do you think Lil Wayne gonna show up for this shit? Like, really? No Limit. Well, okay. For Cash Money, after a while, after BG left, like, well, after BG left, it was like Lil Wayne was Cash Money. And then he left, and then they wasn't no Cash Money. But I don't think like one artist really dominated No Limit like that, because P was making music, Silk was making music, Mystical, Mia X, Kane and Abel. Then he signed Snoop, and Snoop dropped a couple albums. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I do think that to me, in that era, it seems like Cash Money was more popular than No Limit. But I think a very young Lil Wayne, I mean, even though Juvie was hard as fuck, yo, and that 400 Degrees, that shit is fucking classic. But even with Juvie and BG, like somehow Lil Wayne, they really tried to push him, I think, because of his youthfulness, because he was so young and he had like that stage presence. So they wanted to focus on him because he had the longest longevity. He was the youngest one, so he can be in the game longer. I don't know why they focused on Wayne like that, but I don't know. Amizu, what's good, bro? And the question is Snoop should go to show up? I think Snoop would probably show up before Lil Wayne would. Yeah, no. Uncle Snoop, man. Well, both of them niggas got so much money, man. Like, I don't know. It's hard to say. If they would come out and do this just for free, just for the fans. They sold it? Who's running it now? Who's running Versus? And why would they sell that shit? That was a great ass idea. That's an awesome idea. Like, why would you? Oh well. I don't think I would have sold that shit. Wayne ain't the same, bro. Yeah, you're not lying. Well, that's why I said, like, that's why I kind of feel like Snoop would probably show up before Lil Wayne, because Lil Wayne has changed a lot over the years, just his personality, and like when you listen to him in interviews and shit. When you listen to Uncle Snoop, Snoop been Snoop since Snoop was Snoop, and he ain't really changed a lot. This motherfucker damn near 60. Snoop Dogg just gonna be Snoop Dogg, but Lil Wayne went through a lot of different phases with the skateboarding and the rock shit, and now ain't he with another rock singer or something? Or I don't know. Yeah, Lil Wayne different, which is not a bad thing. Everybody should grow and change, mature, and be able to express themselves in different ways and see the world different. And his last album flop. That's crazy. So what about yo? You know what I just realized like today, reading some random article online, that Baby and Tony Braxton was dating for like 16 years. Baby, like Baby from Cash Money, that Baby was dating Tony Braxton, and they got married. And then Tony Braxton divorced him, saying he's too good for me. That's why I be liking to get caught up in celebrity shit, because that just seems hella weird. I don't know why that seems weird to me that that Baby was dating and married to Tony Braxton. They seem like such an odd couple. Bro, yes, yes. They were together for years and years, got married, and then after 6 months, Tony Braxton divorced him, saying he's too good, and I think I'm holding him back or holding him down or so. I'm like, what the fuck? What is going on here? What world do I live in? Leave that old lady money alone. That's crazy. He said, get Janet Jackson, then anything is bro. This little short troll elf looking motherfucker, not saying he not talented or well accomplished in his field, but nigga, how you get Janet Jackson? How Swiss Beats get Alicia Keys? Some of these shits don't add up. The first one, the main one, how Jay-Z get motherfucking Beyonce? It gotta be the money. Swiss Beats got Alicia Keys. Alicia Keys. Jermaine Dupri got fucking Janet Jackson. You know what? It's kind of sad too that none of the Jacksons have children that are carrying on their legacy, unless I don't know about them. Yeah. There's piss in the dating pool, no matter what income bracket you're in. There's piss in the dating pool. All right. I've been in the studio for 30 minutes. I actually did paint a little. I put a little stroke here. I put a little stroke there. Just to say I painted today. There's paint on my brush that I have to clean off because I was painting. Might not have been much, but it was enough to say I did stuff. So when I go play video games for the rest of the evening, I don't want nobody talking shit about nothing. I don't want to hear shit about shit. Because I've been painting. I got a new song, you know. So I've been doing stuff. You feel me? All right, Wendy. I hope that stew is delicious. Yeah, isn't that something strange? Like for their generation, the whole set of siblings, all the boys, all the girls, they were pushed into superstardom, and all of them in their respective lanes had pretty successful careers. Of course, Michael and Janet stands out the most, but like they never had like families like their family. It was the Jackson Five, and then they had 4 girls or 3 girls or something like that. It was like 8 or 9 of these motherfuckers. And like none of those siblings would have like had a big family with not even as big as that, like 4 kids, 3 or 4 kids, and push their kids into entertainment and singing or being musicians or whatever. Like it just seems like that family was so fucking talented and so capable, and just the name itself, the Jacksons, like your kid would be famous just because of your name. It's like I don't see why there isn't like another like a generation like Bob Marley and his kids. Like Bob Marley and the Wailers was big business, and then he had kids, and then his kids started doing stuff. You just would think that like one of the Jacksons would have the next generation of their lineage trying to do what they did to some extent, and it's like, nah. It's like the Smith kids, Will Smith kids, you know. Denzel Washington's son is an actor, and it just seems like kids would try to follow in their parents' footsteps, especially if their parents are very successful at it. And once again, has built up a legacy for the family name. Like it just is what it is. I would be ecstatic to be Denzel Washington's son. Like, who's your father? Yeah, Denzel Washington. That's my dad. It's no big deal. Can you act as well as your father? Yeah, I can act pretty good. We're gonna put you in some movies. And now his son is a fucking actor. Tito had 3 kids. Any of them doing music or something like that? Me and the boys ran Call of Duty last night on some Warzone. We had 2 wins in a row. We played like 6 games, lost like the first 3. Then we got 2 wins back to back, and then the before we got the first win, I was like, all right, guys, this is gonna be my last one. Then we got that dub. I was like, oh, I gotta play again just because we won. Play another one, got another dub. I was like, fuck, I gotta play again. I'm not getting off as long as we win it. And then the third one, we lost. I was like, all right, it's time for me to go to bed. I think the most my squad has ever done was 4 in a row. Like 4 dubs in a row. That shit was crazy that one time. Tito's 3 kids were a group. I did not know that. And the campaign was short and it ended on a cliffhanger. Like they need like more to the story. I'm like, that was weird. Are they gonna put an update or an add-on like later on? Because even like one of the last lines that one of the characters said, it made it sound like there's more to come. There's more to come.
Trap House Entertainment.
I don't even know where I'm at. I don't even know.
I can see the rules have changed. If you choose to engage with something truthful, use a lane. If you choose to propagate the bullshit, then you probably super famous. Situation super dangerous. Chris been wild with depression, battling steroid aggression. More communication, then it's hard to get the message. When it is received, it's even harder to accept it. So most of them reject it like it's all copacetic. Now they acting overzealous and they all selling. They sold to the highest bidder just to buy some liquor. We came up off them hard knocks. Now these suckers sweet as Skittles, break them down like peanut brittle. We was slinging hard rock. This ain't Malcolm in the middle, man. It sizzle like some bacon on the griddle. Things have changed. The game just same, the same. Start to feel my age, nothing don't feel same. Everything feels strange. Things have changed. The game just same, the same. Start to feel my age, nothing don't VCRs or them pages, MP3s and DVD players. Dime bags from the corner, gangsters kept you covered like a blanket, reminiscing. Got me thinking nostalgia, got me feeling nature. Nothing don't hit the same, everything feels different. Music them like pain, so it seems. Even though this is AI, still work when I kick it. Now they all live online trying to maintain an image, reaching for the outer limits, about to crash this glass ceiling, dodging bad dealers with some sad villains, mad children, babies, kids, that's some sad living, fast cars, fast women, fast money, fast killing. What's trending? TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, and every time I think about it, it's hard to believe that. Games have changed. Games the same. Trying to feel my pain, nothing don't feel safe, everything feels strange. Change, things have changed. Games the same. I'm starting to feel my days, nothing don't feel safe, everything feels strange.
One more time. Cause it's the new song, man. You know how we do the new song. I gotta burn it up. Listen to it till I don't want to listen to it no more.
Trap House Entertainment.
There we go, Trap House. There you go. Get it there, boy. Show them
I
all
can see the rules have changed. If you choose to engage with something truthful, use a lane. If you choose to propagate the bullshit, then you probably super famous. Situation super dangerous. Chris been wild with depression, battlers, never aggression. For communication, then it's hard to get the message. When it is received, it's even harder to accept it. So most of them reject it like it's all copacetic. Now they acting overzealous and they all selling. They sold to the highest bidder just to buy some liquor. We came up off them hard knocks. Now these suckers sweet as Skittles, break them down like peanut brittle. We was slinging hard rock. This ain't Malcolm in the middle, man. It sizzle like some bacon on the griddle. Things have changed. The game the same. It's time to feel my day. Nothing don't feel safe. Everything feels strange. Things have changed. The game the same. It's time to feel my day. Nothing don't feel safe. Everything feels strange. No more payphones, VCRs or them pages, MP3s and DVD players. Dime bags from the corner, gangsters kept you covered like a blanket, reminiscing. Got me thinking nostalgia, got me feeling nature. Nothing don't hit the same, everything feels different. Music them like pain, so it seems hard to listen. Even though this is AI, still work when I kick it. Now they all live online trying to maintain an image, reaching for the outer limits, about to crash this glass ceiling, dodging bad dealers with some sad villains, mad children, babies, kids, that's some sad living, fast cars, fast women, fast money, fast killing. What's trending? TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, and every time I think about it, it's hard to believe that. Things have changed. Games the same. Trying to feel my pain, nothing don't feel safe, everything feels strange. Change, things have changed. The same. I'm starting to feel my pain, nothing don't feel safe, everything feels strange. The world is getting crazier by the minute. Don't believe everything you think. Trap House Entertainment. Growth and development, yeah, it's time to flip mode, implement intelligence, because we got some big goals. Always starts in the dark, but the seed still grows, so we gon' kick it harder than a pair of steel toes. Growth and development, yeah, it's time to flip mode, implement intelligence, because we got some big goals. Always starts in the dark, but the seed still grows, so we gon' kick it harder than a pair of steel toes. Record labels, TV stations, about to be irrelevant, tell a friend. Television, mainstream investment, cause someday Gen Alpha will be the new delegate. So now my only goal is some growth and development, building up my NFTs, breaking down the elements. I'm a god body and my melanin is the evidence. They can tribe, we can't sever the fellowship. All I hear is jealousy, fabrication, make believe. Labels and some fairy tales, and they tell them blatantly, you should stay away from me if you move it too hastily. I ain't slow to pull the trigger, I just do it patiently, and plus I do it gracefully. Every time I wield a pen, you know that they could pretend just to try and make amends. I don't think they fully comprehend the consequence. I'ma hit and miss a home run, cause I'm swinging for defense. Sometimes it's better to talk to them, offer a little guidance. The miseducation of the Negroes back in full effect. Let's help wake these people up. No one's gonna hold your hand. It's time to grow from boys and men. Now it's time to focus in. Hope you got open plans. Show the lens. Smack them with an open hand. Gotta let them know we ain't playing. Super Saiyan, a super steed, your superstition, segregate stupid snitches, sliding on slippery slopes, surely get you stitches inside the surface. In your circle, gotta watch your jurisdiction. Then they tell the truth is fiction. I don't need the pseudoscience. All I need is your compliance. As I build a new alliance, most of you are new to violence. Use an island, you surround the shark, infest the waters. Either swimming or you drowning. Life ain't never sweet. Ain't nobody tossing lifesavers. You ain't promised light labor. And nice neighbors fighting the dark side. It's Darth Vader with some lightsabers, but all prayer and no action will not save us. Not save us. Not save us. Growth and development, yeah, it's time to flip mode, implement intelligence, because we got some big goals. All we stars in the dark, but the seed still grows, so we gon' kick it harder than a pair of steel toes. Growth and development, yeah, it's time to flip mode, implement intelligence, because we got some big goals. All we stars in the dark, but the seed still grows, so we gon' kick it harder than a pair of steel toes.
Damn. Well, I don't know if it's my writing or if it's the program, the Suno program or what, but I feel like my newer stuff is way better than the shit I was writing earlier this year and last year. Make me kind of not like the older stuff now. But is that just because Suno sounds so much better, or I don't know what it is? You know what it is? Growth and development. Hey. Well, it's a big Friday evening, afternoon rather. Still afternoon. It's only 3. When do you consider the evening to start? I think like 5 o'clock is evening time. Like 3, 4, you can still say kind of like 4 in the afternoon, but like 5, is that still it is after noontime, but now do you consider that to be evening, early evening, or I've never been formally educated in the proper terminology of how to classify parts of your day. What it do, 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 what it do. All right, so 108 songs so far. Do we find another beat and start another song?
Work, right? So when you do your year and you turn 21, you turn one in artist age. So essentially what I think happens to a lot of artists, they get to 40, even though they've been doing it for 20 years. The age of their creativity is really like 5, 6, and they're stuck there.
How did you find this fucking intro to something correlating directly to what I was talking about?
On today? I'm filming a bunch of insurance commercials. So many mascots coming.
There's an artistic age that you are, and then there's a human age that you are. You might have started rapping at 20, but you're really in your infant stage of creativity because you've never done a year of work, right? So when you do your year and you turn 21, you turn one in artist age. So essentially what I think happens to a lot of artists, they get to 40, even though they've been doing it for 20 years. The age of their creativity is really like 5, 6, and they're stuck there. There's an artistic age that you are, and then there's a...
That intro is too long, man.
A lot of products to unbox today. So the other day I told you guys about Whatnot and how it's a platform.
I want to talk about a theory that has been bouncing around in my head for several years now. And it's not just my theory. I'm sure other people have landed on this conclusion too. The theory is that pop culture peaked at a specific and identifiable point in our very recent past, falling off a cliff, irretrievably since then. And I want to discuss when this peak occurred, why it dropped, where this is all leading. I make the case that pop culture is now dead because the culture itself, in a very real sense, is dead. This is not just reflexive, pessimistic doomerism. real and very important is happening here, as I will explain. Now, pop culture, of course, is the artistic output of a society. It's why it's important. It's the story we tell ourselves about ourselves. And a healthy culture tells great stories well. A sick culture, a dying culture, tells bad stories, or sometimes worse, tells good stories badly. We used to be the former, and now we no longer are. And I think I can show you exactly when everything took a turn. The peak happened during the years 2007 and 2008. And I don't think we appreciated it at the time. You never do. That's how peaks usually work. You don't notice them until you've already started, the descent. You started going over the other side. But that was the zenith. That was the top of the mountain. 2007 saw the release of two of the greatest films ever made, There Will Be Blood and No Country for Old Men, which not only came out in the same year, but also, it just so happens, were filmed at the same time in the same town, only miles apart from each other. But there was more. There's a lot more. The David Fincher masterpiece Zodiac, released in 2007. So did Michael Clayton, George Clooney film Into the Wild. Superbad, the last good teen comedy. 2008 gave us The Dark Knight, The Wrestler, Tropic Thunder, which was one of the last great comedies of any type to be made by Hollywood. We get a few more decent comedies between 2009 and 2013, and that would be it. The entire genre essentially died after that point. And back in 2007, 2008, every genre was thriving. They were still making great children's movies. Ratatouille in 2007, Wall-E in 2008. Even the smaller movies that didn't light up the box office were exceptional. Fascination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford's a really good movie. The Mist, Before the Devil Knows You're Dead, Once, In Bruges. I didn't personally enjoy Juno or Gran Torino all that much, but they came out at this time, and they're both better, more daring, more original than the vast majority of the slop Hollywood puts out these days. Gone Baby Gone. Ben Affleck film was another very good film to come out during this time. Apocalypto, for my money, a nearly perfect movie. Came out in 2007. It premiered in theaters in December of 2006. So did Children of Men. You can make an argument for expanding the...
Damn, those movies are that old. Yeah, because Apocalypto and Children of Men, I have both of those in my collection. Those are excellent, super, super, super excellent movies. Man, Apocalypto or Children, I don't know. I don't know. Children of Men was so good. It was so
good. To include 2006, a 3-year period then, covering 06 through 08. 2006 gave us not only Apocalypto and Children of Men, but it also gave us Departed, The Departed, Borat, The Prestige, Rescue Dawn, Idiocracy, Pursuit of Happiness. You could throw a dart at a list of every movie released during this period, and the chances are pretty high that you'll hit something good, maybe even great, even a masterpiece. Truer for television shows. Now, if you were to make a list of the 10 greatest TV shows ever made, 5 of those shows likely put on your list were on the air during this time. The Wire, The Sopranos, Breaking Bad, Mad Men, The Office. A lot of people would make an argument for The Shield as one of the great shows of all time. It was also on the air at this time. Lost had its best seasons during these years. Curb Your Enthusiasm was hitting on all cylinders. South Park hadn't fallen off a cliff yet, like it has now. 30 Rock, not my bag, but it was a solid network sitcom, also airing at this time. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia was in its prime. The extremely underrated, hilarious Flight of the Conchords premiered on HBO in 2007. For my money, one of the funniest shows of all time, Extras, Ricky Gervais' show, was airing on the same network at the same time. I would argue that after both movies and TV shows together, you cannot point to a 1 or 2 or even 3-year period that beats it. The volume of great cinema and television can't be matched. And 1999 was a great year for movies. So was 1996. So was 1975. 1939 gave us both Gone with the Wind and The Wizard of Oz. But 2007 to 2008 or 2006 to 2008 gave us masterpieces on both the big and small screen. Both art forms seem to have reached their pinnacle in time. For sure, with absolute certainty, is that no year or 2-year period or 3-year period after 07 to 08 comes anywhere close. And that's the most important point, because even if you argue that there were better years before 07 or 06, the point is that nothing comes close in the years since. I think that 2007 was the best period. I think it was. Doesn't matter. All that matters for my theory is that it was the last great one. If it wasn't the peak, it was the last peak. been great films since then. Some of my favorites: Whiplash, Sicario, The Social Network, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Plenty of others. I mentioned In Bruges, which came out in 2008. The Banshees of Inisherin is a better film by the same director and same lead actors, which came out in 2022. But these films are spread out over a period of nearly 2 decades, and they're drowned in a sea of slop. Remakes, franchise films, sequels, superheroes. Been good TV shows since 2008. The first season of True Detective came out in 2014. Chernobyl in 2019, an absolute masterpiece, in my opinion. But again, nothing like the murderer's row of The Wire, Breaking Bad, The Sopranos, Mad Men, The Shield, overlapping each other. Throw a dart at a list of any movie or show that came out after 2008, and especially any that have come out in the past 10 years, and especially any that have come out in the last 5 years, hitting something even watchable, much less good, much less great, is significantly smaller. I mean, sure, you might hit something like Severance, which is a true artistic triumph, I think, but you're much more likely to land somewhere in the sea of just mediocre streaming sludge that we're all swimming in.
How long do you think this shutdown will last?
More than 35 days.
Go trick.
Why?
What do you? Okay, so before he give us the rest of his theory and breakdown, do y'all kind of agree that like pop culture was at its peak in like 2007, 2008? I don't know if the 90s were the peak of pop culture. We had Bill and Ted, Back to the Future, and Ninja Turtles, and oh, the Terminator was the 80s. I don't know.
What happened? Well, 2 other things premiered in the 07-08 period that might help explain the problem. The first, the one that conservatives will most likely point to, is Barack Obama's presidency. Obama was, of course, elected in 2008. He took office in 2009. And with the election of our first truly far-left president, a radical black activist who used his race as a cudgel against the entire country, we entered the era of what we would come to call wokeness. Forms of risky, interesting, provocative artistic expression began to die off as a result, starting with comedy. It is really striking, as many people have pointed out, to look at a list of the best comedies of this century and notice how the genre simply disappears. The face of the earth by the end of Obama's first term. Not a coincidence.
It was pouring down rain out of nowhere.
But that is not the whole story. And it isn't even half of the story. Because something else happened in 2007 that would prove to be more determinative factor. It was, of course, released in the US on June 29, 2007. And again, it is startling to look at a list of the greatest films and TV shows of this century, how many of them were packed in and produced from the year 2000 until the release of the iPhone, and how quickly everything drops off almost from that moment precisely, or within a year or so of it. The iPhone came out, social media proliferated alongside it. 2007, only about 23% of American adults had ever used social media. Twitter had only just been launched. TikTok didn't exist. Instagram didn't exist. Today, of course, basically everyone uses social media, basically every waking moment of the day. Now, here's the point. As our lives increasingly centered around these devices, centered and condensed into these little glowing boxes. We have lost
I need a
something very
definition for this
important.
woke shit, man.
We no longer have a shared cultural experience, what some have called the monoculture, or what you might just call mainstream culture. The monoculture began its march to extinction in 2007. March is over. Process is complete. There is no shared culture. Monoculture gave way to the fragmented culture, a culture broken and divided into 300 million little pieces. Culture driven by algorithms, designed to feed us a nonstop diet of lowest common denominator slop. As long as modern pop culture has existed, going back to the mid-1900s at least, in subcultures, there have been divisions along generational lines, sure. Subculture didn't mean that everyone's cultural experience was exactly the same, with no variations whatsoever. All it meant was that, generally speaking, watched the same movies, TV shows, watched them. We knew about the popular ones that other people were watching. Everybody watched Seinfeld in the 90s, but most people did. And if you didn't, you still knew about Seinfeld. You recognized the characters. It was still part of your cultural experience. It was a cultural benchmark for everyone, even if you didn't watch it. Because, we went to the same places to access all this stuff. We went to the same movie theaters. We browsed through the aisles at Blockbuster. We turned on our TV. We scanned through the same channels. To the same places. We're exposed to the same things. Culture is. It's a shared experience. There's a reason why music, which, of course, is an essential part of the culture I haven't mentioned yet, doesn't really graft onto this timeline exactly the same. It peaked a little bit earlier than movies and television. The musical monoculture broke up almost a decade before that with the advent of Napster and file sharing. Napster arrived on the scene in 1999. This was also arguably our musical peak. And it's not that 1999 had all the best music. I mean, that's up to, it's whatever your taste is, but genre of music was thriving in 1999. Rock, pop, rap, country, R&B. We had big musical acts that were like actual bands that played, play instruments. And today, rock music doesn't exist in the mainstream. All the other genres have melded together and become indistinguishable from each other. Before file sharing and eventually iPhones and streaming, if we wanted to hear new music, you turn on the radio and you listen to the stations, or for my generation, MTV. When I was a teenager, almost everyone I knew went home after school, on MTV, watch TRL, where we'd all see the same 10 music videos. Opinion of the music may have varied, but we were all exposed to the same things. We had a shared experience. We had a culture. And this meant that even the generational divides really as stark as they are today. And there was a divide, but it wasn't a brick wall. It was not this impenetrable fortress like it is now. My parents did not much care for the pop stars and rock bands that the kids were listening to, but they generally knew who those stars were. I mean, they weren't big fans of Eminem or Britney Spears, but they would have recognized those people if they walked into the room, because we all had the same stars. We all had the same celebrities. If your 14-year-old son has a phone, which most of them do, unfortunately, has his own personal list of stars and celebrities that he looks up to and follows obsessively. And these are people that you've never heard of. You don't know their names. You don't know who they are. You don't even know what they do. Not even as simple as, oh, yeah, well, that's a famous pop star. You might not even do anything. And there isn't one place for you to go and find out who these people are. Because they're streamers and they're influencers and they're various other random people with huge followings who enjoy a very peculiar and very modern kind of fame. One that is vast but narrow. Millions of fans know them intimately. The rest of us have never even heard their names. And I can't stress enough how new and weird fame is. And I say this as someone who has some experience with it, as you know. At any other point in history, up until very recently, if you had 5 million fans, then you were famous. Then if you had 5 million fans, it meant that there were 50 million other people who at least vaguely knew who you were. 5 million fans and be totally obscure to every other person on the planet. There are YouTubers with 100 million subscribers who I wouldn't recognize if they walked up to me and introduced themselves by name. And I am a YouTuber with millions of subscribers. Not 100 million, but millions. You know, there's something poetic in the fact that Michael Jackson, the last celebrity of the monoculture, the last true global star, died in 2009. When the monoculture was extinguished, its biggest star. Of celebrity, true celebrity, is a symptom of the death of the monoculture, the extinction of the shared cultural experience. Radio is long since dead, so is MTV. Blockbuster went the way of the woolly mammoth a long time ago. Movie theaters still exist, but they don't have anywhere near the kind of cultural importance.
Nobody will ever be able to deny that Michael Jackson was the superstar of superstars of all superstars. Like, that nigga was, if the word famous had to be a person, like, that nigga was famous. Yo. And he was, like you said, the real last pop star. They said, the one dude was like, yo, they were trying to compare Chris Brown to Michael Jackson. Hold on. Now I have to hear this. I have to hear this shit, bro.
To do the mask, the COVID mask in the 90s. Mike pulled up, he didn't make a sound, a noise, or nothing. He looked at them and they faint. They backed Mike out. Mike, like he was some form of weapon, they backed Mike out. And they died. No, they can see the shape of the nigga.
I can say Chris Brown's a better dancer than Mike.
No.
I can say
he would have flipped, they would have bombed the stadium. He was limited in what he could do. That's why he just moonwalked on his fall. If he would have flipped, he would have died in it. It's too much, he would have combusted in the shit. Oh my. It was $9.99.
You can do all of the comparisons of Chris Brown's a better dancer, Chris Brown's a better singer, and all that.
He's not a better singer. Because there was no auto-tune, no none of that. Yeah. Mike was really vocalizing. Really Chris Brown could sing, it's a fact. Yeah. Mike got it. There was no help. You remember this was just singing into a brush. No, they lit it on fire and made it seem like it was an accident because they was hating. Have you ever melted my boy down and he still kept singing. I want to love you. Mike had to do the mask, the COVID mask in the 90s. Mike pulled up, he didn't make a sound, a noise, or nothing. He looked at them and they faint. They
backed Mike out like he was some form of weapon or something. Yo, that is the funniest. That's the funniest shit I ever heard. Yo, he's like, yo, bitches look at Michael Jackson and faint. Yo, they just pass out, bro. Chris Brown ain't never did that.
The goal of all of that is Marcus Jordan. Like, you smashed your uncle's wife. That was basically Chris Brown is the GOAT, man. I think it's time that we have a series.
Yeah, what he said. Chris Brown is more talented than Michael Jackson. I didn't never say more talented. I just said I think he's the next. I think Mike got it, but he's the next best thing. He's the closest we're ever going to see to Mike. That's what I said.
Tank's reasoning was Chris Brown is a better producer, dancer, better vocalist.
Not better dancer. It's close.
Better vocalist, and I forgot what was the other criteria he used. And he was saying that a lot of Mike, everybody can say, well, the catalog and the songs. He's like, well, a lot of that is the great team and amazing team around him. And Chris Brown doesn't have that support.
Yeah. Chris Brown got joints too, though.
He does. He don't have Michael Jackson.
No. Well, who does?
I think Tank wasn't there with Mike when Mike was making that stuff, so that's difficult for him to make that argument. Yeah. But I respect Tank and his music acumen.
Mike had Berry Gordy. Like, again, at any point, correct me if I'm wrong, Mike had Berry Gordy, right?
I mean, early in Motown with what you call it, but it wasn't very good.
Quincy Jones, I think, was probably more so.
So it's tough because I feel like Chris Brown has that whole Rihanna situation that stunted his career. So it's almost really hard to see what it could have been if that didn't get in the way. Because prior to that, he had acting too. That shit kind of stopped after the Rihanna shit. Remember, he was doing movies, so he probably would have had acting credits and shit like that, or whatever else. He had endorsements that went away. Yeah. I mean, the level of success he has, despite how many people are rooting against him and don't fuck with him, I do think speaks to the level of talent.
Yes, but even that period in his career before Rihanna, it wasn't comparable to Michael Jackson up until his first album.
Fact.
Nobody was.
But
Also, Michael Jackson wasn't by himself.
And we're gonna lose.
Was in the Jackson.
And if you take just off the wall, Chris Brown wasn't.
But just saying.
I understand what you're saying, however, but none of them other niggas was ever gonna be Mike.
Yeah.
Ever. It's just what it is.
Mike was a child superstar. He's a product.
Like he was a product. He stood out even when 5, 6, 10 years old. So Mike was Mike. So I see what you're saying. That's what garnered his attention. But the success came solely from Mike.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like that.
Sure.
So I just feel like it's easy to say nobody's ever going to be close to Mike. And I agree with you. That did hinder Chris Brown's success a little bit. However, there was never going to be another Mike. So this is the closest we was never going to get with or without the Rihanna shit and all of that other stuff. He was never going, like he said, son, at that lead up, even if he would have blossomed into a huge celebrity success and all of that, it was already so like just leagues underneath of what Mike had already seen and it was exposed to. Mike had to do the mask, the COVID mask in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He had to wear a COVID mask because he could, though they could see the shape of the nigga. It was, nah, it's not.
I think some people shouldn't be.
You just like the nigga, man. So you want to make jokes.
No,
that was valid though. Shit dead fell off. Off the broken ball. The dead fell off. That's valid. It's mad funny. However, Mike dead had to disguise himself and still was plagued and mobbed with people. Chris Brown can't go outside. He's a
Chris Brown, I could say is a better dancer than Mike.
Nah.
Wait.
100%.
Just hear me out. Chris Brown is a better dancer than Mike.
Michael Jackson never did a flip. No.
He didn't have to.
Chris Brown's
doesn't matter. Bitches was falling off. They fell out off the visual.
Did Chris Brown don't do that?
It's a fact.
Mike pull up. He don't say nothing yet. The nigga don't have a microphone yet. He didn't make a sound, a noise, or nothing. He looked at the bitch in their face. They backed Mike out. Mike, like he was some form of weapon. They backed Mike out, and they died. There's people. My nigga, there are actual people that died from seeing Michael Jackson. Look it up. There's no other niggas that did. They died from seeing Mike.
He's a one-on-one.
Yeah. They died. Listen to what I'm saying. You're not.
I am.
They looked at Mike and Medusa. My niggas died. Niggas died off the visual of Mike.
So I can say, hold on. I can say Chris Brown's a better dancer than Mike.
No.
I can say Chris Brown is as talented as
if he would have flipped, if he would have flipped, they would have bombed the stadium. He was limited in what he could do. That's why he just moonwalked on niggas. If he would have flipped, he would have died. He would have died in it. It's too much. He would have combusted in this shit. It's wild. Come on, my nigga. Niggas was $9.99. Niggas sliders is all the way up. It's $89. Come on, man.
You can do all of the comparisons of Chris Brown's a better dancer, Chris Brown's a better singer, and all that, and you could debate.
He's not a better singer.
He's definitely not a better singer.
You can't say that. That shit is
you can debate that.
You can't debate.
For some reason, when you
combine, there was no auto tune, no none of that.
Yeah.
Mike was really vocalizing.
Singing.
Chris Brown could sing. It's a fact. Mike got it, nigga. There was no help. You remember this nigga was just singing into a fucking hairbrush and shit like that. Have you ever? That's a fact. No, they let the nigga play and made it seem like it was accident because they was hating. Have you ever melted my boy down and he still kept singing? I want to love you. Have you ever still getting off? Pause.
You ever heard Michael Jackson reference tracks?
Yeah.
When
he sings every
part.
Yeah.
He does
every harmony.
The instruments with his voice.
Yeah.
Correct.
He does every part of the harmony.
That's crazy. Nigga, Mike is him.
Yeah.
That's it. Ain't no other Mike.
Compared to.
If you combine,
what's just wrong with just being a new, the Chris Brown?
Yeah,
you're not the new anything. You just the Chris Brown. And this is just the Mike. When niggas is talking about NBA players, NFL players, you can't be the new Barry Sanders. You'll never be. You just be the Emmitt Smith. And then after Emmett, you'll be the Marshall Falk or the what? You feel me? Niggas ain't never be Mike. Niggas will never be Cole. Niggas will never be LeBron. It'll never happen. Niggas will never be Michael Jackson. And it's unfair because you're taking away from Chris Brown's brilliance by even comparing the niggas.
It's a fact.
There is no comparison. Dog, if you look it up, they backed Mike out like he was some form of a gift. Like a weapon to the people, and they died, nigga. You understand, though? You have to build up for that.
It's only one.
But I agree with you. What I'm trying to say is you can have all those comparisons.
There's nothing like that again.
They had to back Mike out. Niggas died from the vision. Yo, this is the craziest story. Yo, it's like he was limited what he could do. He couldn't do a flip, nigga. If he would have flipped, they would have bombed the whole stadium. It would have bombed. It would have been if he would have died. It would have been he would have combusted. Yo. Yo, nigga, they saw Mike Medusa dead, nigga. Look it up. Niggas died from the visuals. You ain't never had Chris Brown ain't never killed nobody just by looking at him. We like, yo. He was limited the way he can do, man. He had to wear the COVID mask in the 90s. Nigga. Nigga said Medusa. Ew. Mike had to go out in disguise, man. Yo, Lion said that ain't one of the funniest goddamn shit, bro.
About Michael Jackson, that's like something that doesn't exist anymore.
Correct.
The closest thing is maybe like whatever Beyonce shit we got, but even that
close.
But even that doesn't make sense because Michael Jackson would land in fucking Africa and niggas.
And there's another thing. Michael Jackson ain't had no fucking internet. Michael Jackson ain't had no internet, bro. Not for the bulk of his career. That nigga was a world famous international superstar. Radio and video, movies, newspapers, magazines. They weren't no fucking internet. That's the same thing with Tupac. Like, these niggas did all that shit before the internet. How? That's that superstar level.
They have TVs and they would know who Michael Jackson
off the vibe. Niggas knew. My son was he was a vibration. Word. It will shake the shit up. Mike,
as soon as he landed, they knew Michael Jackson was here.
Niggas in Denmark is bitches. Look at this. Mike is just playing around. It was a vibe, an aura. Mike was different. So it's just not fair. And I know you want to make a joke and say some gay shit about Mike. Mike wasn't gay. Watch him out. But like I said,
imagine if Mike had social media.
Come on.
Thank you. Right there.
Shut it down.
It wouldn't make sense.
They couldn't do it. They couldn't do it.
It wouldn't make sense.
They couldn't do it. First of all, yo, all right, my nigga. Say it right. Am I supposed to fight you? I'm on your side. I don't know Mike.
That's a fact.
I'm on your side. I'm just saying, watch your mouth, though, my nigga.
Why?
This is a legend.
He is a legend.
The most legendary nigga. No.
He is a legend.
Don't say gay shit.
No, I'm not.
Don't attach gay
Mike
shit.
is a legend.
Can we just have one legendary nigga? One?
So we're gonna say
he was white.
We're gonna say R. Kelly's not a legend because he's a fucking monster.
Hold on. Mike is a legend. Don't attach him to R. Kelly. He did nothing.
R. Kelly was able to chill at the McDonald's unbothered.
Yeah, like what do you say?
I can't do that.
Even opening that conversation, you're attaching these two. There's no comparison. R. Kelly was committing crimes.
Yes.
Mike wasn't, nigga. He didn't do nothing gay. He didn't do nothing wrong. Don't do that. It's unfair, son. If he was white, he'd be out.
Let's not speed past the fact that kids were in the house.
And he was dead wrong.
Yeah.
But if there was a crime, why you didn't lock him up? Why you do that to him?
I think
Popcorn. Right. There was no crime, nigga. If he was white, you'll be like, yeah, Mike is the man. Not fair, my nigga. You're crazy.
If he was white, I would say
if it was Matthew Jackson, he would have been lit.
What's
wrong with you, my nigga?
Wait. So let's say tomorrow, Matthew Jackson, niggas interview Tom Cruise, and Tom Cruise is like, oh yeah, it's cool to sleep in bed with kids.
He never slept in the bed. We proved this already. He did not sleep in his. He was never in the bed with children.
So there wasn't an interview where the nigga sat in a tree and said, yeah, it's cool to sleep in bed with kids.
No, never said that.
It's loving. There's nothing wrong with it.
No,
that's what he said.
That's funny.
Can niggas look it up? Yes, he did.
That's funny.
He sat in a fucking
sitting in the tree saying anything is funny.
Yeah,
he shouldn't have been in the tree.
He climbed the tree and sat and did an interview.
That's true. Now that's funny. I remember that, right? He's chasing Bubbles. First of all, put some context on it, my nigga. He's trying to get his boy Bubbles back. That's why he's in the tree. Fact. That's why he was in the tree. However, he said nothing about sleeping in the bed with kids. First of all, I'm not going to keep arguing about Mike.
A grown man in your 40s and climb a tree? You type athletic.
What?
I'm not climbing the tree. That's the takeaway.
I just thought about that. I was like, you type athletic.
Mike was here, he would have fucked you up. That's what he said. Long story short. Like, Mike would have beat you up. Hands lightning fast. 5'10", 130. Magical, son. We have to jump Mike.
Yeah.
For sure.
Nah, the 10-year-old looser.
Not elusive. Nah, see, come on, man. Come on. Why attach?
So he didn't. Wait. So he did not.
Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, please like, comment, and subscribe. For more content, click over here. And
see, there was no crime. Why that nigga ain't go to jail? I have to think about that shit. The whole time everybody was like, he's a pedophile. He's a pedophile. If he's a pedophile, why he ain't never go to jail? I don't never remember Michael Jackson doing no jail time. I guess he wasn't a pedophile. All right, you about to wrap it up right here. Did almost a solid hour of painting, about 50 minutes of painting. Worked on her nose mostly. It's looking good right now. This is still the first detail layer, so you know we got to come back and kind of shape it up a little bit more. But this isn't looking bad. I like it. First detail layer is looking pretty good, guys. No, work on it some more in the morning. No, work on it some more in the morning. This other influencer, they what was their thing? Was it fashion or music or unboxing stuff or one of the news influencers or a gamer, a streamer, a podcaster? Like who was it? And that's what Matt Walsh was just exactly saying, that same thing. Like sometimes these people can be super famous to the 8 million people who follow them, but then outside of that 8 million people, like nobody knows who the fuck they are. That's like PewDiePie. I just know him because he is super, super, super famous. And I think he was one of the gamers who had the most followers on YouTube or something like that. But I've never watched like a video from this guy. Never seen PewDiePie play video games or anything. But I know who he is and what he does. Oh man. $19, that's crazy. That is super crazy, man. 19 years old. All right, guys. Ooh. I've been sitting wrong or something. My fucking back kind of stiff. Oh. Yeah, it's raining like hell outside. Well, guess it's game time. Man, I get so embarrassed getting beat up on Battlefield so much, but I might stream it for a little while. We'll see. Or I might see if the homies are on Call of Duty first. If the homies are on Call of Duty, I'll hop on there with them and I can stream that. But because I can get a kill or two in Call of Duty. Battlefield, man, I don't get no kills in that shit, man. I just get killed. I'm trying my hardest to learn the maps and like rank my gun and stuff up, but whew, man, it's hard. Anyway, sorry for the absence for a couple of days. We'll be back here in the morning doing the same thing right here, guys. I hope everybody have a good evening, and I'll chat with y'all in the next one. Peace. We out here. Cheerio.